Bram Stoker's Dracula is about a vampire who's terrorizing England. The book starts out by talking about a man named Jonathan, who is sent out by his job to go to Transylvania to finalize a real estate transaction with Count Dracula. Jonathan leaves behind his soon-to-be wife, Mina, to go travel over several countries. Jonathan discovers the truth about Dracula when he is staying there in his castle. He is being held prisoner by Dracula, but eventually escapes later in the story. Meanwhile, while Jonathan is away, Mina meets up with her friend Lucy in a place called Whitby. Lucy is her childhood friend who is soon to be married also. Lucy had 3 suitors who all end up coming together by the end. While Mina is with Lucy, strange things are happening. There is a shipwreck where people saw a huge dog. An old man named Mr. Swales is found dead, and Lucy and her mother get very sick. And Mina doesn't hear from Jonathan for a long time. When Mina finally hears from Jonathan, he is in a hospital in Budapest, and she goes to him and leaves her friend Lucy. When she gets to the hospital, Jonathan is acting crazy and has a notebook that he tells her not to read. They get married, and she also finds out that Lucy and her mother died. When Mina and Jonathan get back, they meet up with Dr. Van Helsing and Dr. Seward. Dr. Seward owns an asylum, and there's a patient named Renfield, who Mina wants to talk to. They all start working together to find out what evil is happening in the town. And then in the middle of all that, Mina ends up being controlled by Dracula, and he forces her to drink blood from his chest. So now they are really trying to hunt down Dracula and kill him. Mina is able to be hypnotized by Dr. Van Helsing to find where Dracula is. Mina is starting to turn into a vampire, so she tells him to kill her if they need to. They end up back in Transylvania, where they find Dracula and kill him. Mina is free from his evil spirit, and her and Johnny live happily ever after. They end up having a son. It was a good book. I like mysteries. It was also interesting to me how the author was able to tell a love story even with all the horrific things going on. For example, while Jonathan is traveling, he was thinking about Mina and trying to remember things to tell her when he got back, like foods he ate, scenery along the way, how the people dress. Mina at the same time was wondering about how his travel experience and hoped they could travel these places together someday. Also, when Lucy was bitten by the vampire and getting sick, Mina got word that Jonathan was in the hospital sick, so she ran to be by his side, and they got married. Then at the end, Jonathan was part of the group who helped kill Dracula to save his wife, Mina. And then they lived happily ever after and had a son. Okay. This book connects with Once Upon a Time because it was also like a suspenseful love story. The author first created the image of fear when the woman described the noises sounding like someone was in her house breaking in. Then the husband kept building things onto the house to protect his wife because she was scared of riders and he loved her. Much like Jonathan and Mina, he feared Dracula but did what he needed to protect her. So his love for Mina was stronger than his fear. I chose to do a character journal because I was able to give a different perspective of the book and show how the character was thinking and feeling while everything was going on. It brings the character to life. I chose Mina as my character. In one of the entries she writes, Entry number 1. Today was bittersweet for me. Jonathan is leaving for his journey to Transylvania. He is such a smart, intelligent man. His boss chose him of all people to finalize the transaction of real estate to some guy called Dracula. Although it upsets me that he has to travel so far, I can't help but be excited for this opportunity. He has been to the museum studying about all the different places he will soon encounter. What a great adventure. When he returns, we will marry. I can't wait for that day. Until then, I try to show my happiness for him, even though on the inside I am deeply saddened. Hopefully, these journal writings will help my time pass by. I give this book a 4 out of 5, only because it was very long to read.